KFNX Weatherbug Weather Center for this afternoon. Sunshine, a high of 82. Clear sky for tonight, 58 the low. Sunday will be sunny, a high of 88. Clouds moving into the region Sunday night with a low of 62. And for Monday, mostly sunny, breezy, a high near 90. I'm Kelly Wild from the KFNX Weatherbug Weather Center.
Currently in downtown Phoenix, it's 79 degrees.
Independent Talk, 1100. KFNX.
Message and data rates may apply.
Do you want to learn how to get started making money flipping houses right here in Phoenix? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll be introduced to our 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Phoenix area who want to learn how to get started making money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. Phoenix is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where we'll share how to get started making money flipping houses and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited, so text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. Just text your zip code to 82,000.
Good times, good friends, and cold drinks, and that's what it's all about. Arena Sports Grill at 64th Street in Bell has been North Scottsdale's friendliest sports bar since 1998. There is always something going on in Arena. Taco Tuesdays with a pool tournament starting at 7 p.m., Wine Wednesdays, half-off bottle of wine and $11 one-topping pizzas, all-you-can-eat fish fry Fridays, and the best prime rib dinner with all the fixins on Saturdays. It's Arena Sports Grill. Food, sports, games, and fun.
Tune in for Weekend Talk That Matters, only on KFNX. The information and opinions you hear on this radio show are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of KFNX, its affiliates, management, or advertisers.
Good afternoon. Welcome to On the Record with Virtual Vinyl. I'm Mike Camilla, your host. We'll be here for an hour talking about records, music. Got some great guests today. First, just a quick background, what we do. Virtual Vinyl buys and sells mostly used records, 45s, LPs, EPs. We're looking to buy a very well taken care of record collections and go to the 1100kfnx.com website and pick up the links to our Discogs store, our Reverb store, and a couple small eBay stores. Give us a call, 480-269-4849 if you have something for sale. If you want to call the show, 602-277-KFNX. Nationwide, 866-536-1100. My first guest tonight is an old pal of mine. He was my boss at Northern Records in Cleveland and is a great fella, and hooked up with him recently. He agreed to come on the show. Went to work for Warner Brothers after the company we worked for, and I'd like to welcome to the show my old pal, Frank Rezick.
Mike.
How are you?
And you said what a great boss I was also.
You were a great boss.
Great intro.
I'm certain I was a terrible employee.
No, you were fantastic. We always had a good time together, man. I remember, like I said the other day, I remember you going to Wendy's and wolfing down 2 or 3 hamburgers for lunch.
That was me. I remember you guys found me. I was running the record theater in Mayfield Heights at Golden Gate, and you guys recruited me to come over to Northern and rack jobs, some Gold Circle stores, which was less exciting than working in a record store, but I made a little more money, had a nice company car. I was a young kid, doing pretty good. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Best part was getting your name on the list at the Cleveland Agora, getting in shows and having a ball.
Right, it was a lot of fun back then. When I first started, I just started out in the warehouse, and you came on later, but originally what we did was they put us out in these vans, man, loaded with 45 RPMs, LPs, and 8-track tapes,
Right.
So we go around to little dime stores and drug stores and drive all over the doggone country from 6 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, putting records in stores.
Right. I started out
quite hectic, but I loved it.
I started out with United Distributing, who was at like 23rd and St. Clair in Cleveland, and they basically ran 45s all over town, mostly R&B records in the black neighborhoods in Cleveland.
Right. I remember when I first started, I used to have to go downtown there on Euclid Avenue. They had a big W.T. Grant's store there, and we always had the record of the week or the record of the month or something. And they would blow through a lot of these R&B records like there was no tomorrow. One in particular I remember was the Superfly soundtrack. We'd always set up a big window in the front of the store and just sell. That was back in the day when we'd go through hundreds of records a day. They'd call you and say, "Hey, Frank, well, I just put 400 albums in there yesterday. No, we sold out of those already. We need more. We need more, So I'd have to load up the car or the truck and run back down there and give them another 400 or 500 albums. That's
the R&B station.
You remember at Gold Circle, too. Remember we'd have those racks and pieces.
Sure.
People would just blow through those records. Like
go in on a Monday and there'd be a Slurpee turned upside down in the rack. You have to clean that up.
Oh, yeah, that was always exciting. Yeah, I could tell a lot of stories about that, but it was fun, exciting, and, that led to my career in working with Warner Music Group, and, which was a really great job, which I did for I think I worked for them for almost 25 years.
Right, Warner Electro Atlantic, correct?
Yeah, it was quite exciting.
And, you were a promotion guy with them, right, Frank?
Yeah, I did like promotion, marketing, sales, you name it, PR. I picked some of these artists up at the airport and taken the radio stations or TV stations, and things like that. It was a pretty satisfying job. I worked with a lot of these groups before they became huge, like I remember when U2 first came over, back in the early 80s. They were doing small clubs, like you mentioned, the Cleveland Agora, small club in Pittsburgh. There was another place in Columbus, the Newport, right on High Street down there. Really cool guys, they loved it. They loved being in America because of the food, I'd take them out for these big giant hamburgers and just super duper people. So that was part of the, really enjoyment that I had in my job, was helping these people with their careers. And I met a lot of people over the years.
A lot of great photos on your Facebook page. I'm looking at one right now with your arm around Roger Daltrey. When did you meet Daltrey?
Yeah, you know what? It was like a dream come true. I used to listen to these groups back in the 60s, and then went in the service. When I got out of the service, I got to work at Northern. I was at a wedding, and one of my college buddies, he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I had 3 years of college in. So, I'm going to wait around till the spring. I think it was in February or March. I'm going to wait around, hang around, hang out, hang loose until the spring, go back to school. Well, he goes, you know what? He goes, my uncle works in, I don't know if you remember Cadillac Music or not.
Sure, a little one-stop or something.
Yeah, they did like jukeboxes and stuff all over Cleveland. He goes, my uncle runs that place. He goes, he can probably get you a job at the record distributors, and that's when Northern had just started out. Lenny Silver just bought into it from Buffalo, New York there.
Right, Transcontinent Records.
Yeah, so I went down there. It was really not like nowadays. The guy called him on the phone, "Hey, I'm sending a guy down." Went in his office, sat down, filled out one-page application, and he goes, "Well, can you start working right now?" Yeah, of course I can. So I went to work in the warehouse there, and then they, shortly after that, they put me out on the road. I was going to go back to school in the spring. Now why don't you go up and talk to this guy, Lenny, up in Buffalo, to the boss there. I don't know if he was there when you were there, George Zarembo.
Vaguely, I remember him.
Yeah, he was in charge over there, so he sent me up there, and then Lenny put me to work. He gave me a heck of a lot more money starting out than I would have made if I would have graduated from college. So I was like, I'm in. Plus, I had a true passion for music, so I knew that's what I wanted to do.
United put me on the road. I was 17, 18 years old. I had a brand new Cutlass Supreme, 1975. I get in the car on Sunday night, drive down to Columbus, get in these Cook United stores. They were called, up in Cleveland, they were called Uncle Bill's. Down there, they were called Ontario stores. And just run through.
When I was in high school, I used to buy records at Uncle Bill's.
Run through 4 stores in Columbus, a couple in Springfield, Ohio, a couple in Dayton, down to Cincinnati, Newport, Kentucky. Race back to Cleveland Wednesday night, take Thursday off, go in the office Friday, pick up my check. I had the most money in my pocket then in my entire life.
Right. Yeah, it was unbelievable. And before you came to work there, I was working. Well, originally I think I worked in Cleveland. They used to switch around. I was working in Cleveland, then they put me in. I think I did West Virginia and PA, and then from there I moved up to Michigan. I was living up in Lansing. I used to cover the whole state. It was the same deal. You know, I'd leave on Monday or Tuesday and come home on Friday. I'd go up to the very northern tip of Michigan. There, they had a store up there in Petoskey, Michigan. You could see the Mackinac Bridge. Fortunately, I didn't have to go across the bridge, but it was it was hectic. But I loved what I did. So
on the road, I was on the road.
Yeah, if you love what you're doing, you're going to be successful. So.
And United lost the Cook United account. They called me in the office and Mike, you're laid off. I was back on the street. And then
well, here's what happened at Warner Electric Atlantic. I used to tell my kids, quit downloading music. You know, your dad's going to lose his job. So it was probably around, 2005 or 6, somewhere around there. I got downsized, but I had 25 years plus with them. So
how did you hook on with Warner Brothers? We lost track of each other after I disappeared from Northern.
Yeah, well, what happened was, I think they started. Originally, what they used to do is go through guys like Lenny and that and distribute all their music and have them do the promoting and everything. All they did was manufacture, sign the artist and make the records and everything. Because at one time at Northern, we had Warner Brothers records, all that stuff. We distributed it. Well, all of a sudden they got wise. They're like, well, why are we paying these guys to do this when we can do this on our own? So I think that was around 75 or 76. They started We a Distribution. But at that time, I was already working with those Gold Circle stores, and I used to go into the offices and set up promotions with them and do all kinds of, crazy stuff. So I got to meet all those guys, Mike Spence and a bunch.
Looking to purchase large, well-taken care of LP and 45 RPM record collections. Call us at 480-269-4849 and visit our stores on 1100kfnx.com and check out our Facebook group. On the Record with Virtual Vinyl is on every Saturday at 5 p.m. until 6 p.m.
Do you work in the automotive or transportation industry? Would you like to increase your pay? Or are you looking for that position to make your next big career move? Then APN Staffing and Employment Solutions is for you. APN Staffing is a specialty placement company filling positions from controllers to technicians coast to coast. Give us a call to discuss personalized opportunities for you. 602-788-5890 or online at apnusa.com. Don't put your career on the back burner. Give us a call now.
Everything today is thoroughly modern when the Scottsdale Musical Theater Company presents the Tony Award-winning musical Thoroughly Modern Millie, April 25th through May 5th at Tempe Center for the Arts, starring TV star Dawn Lewis from A Different World and the new Veronica Mars. This high-spirited tap-dancing treat will take you on a nostalgic trip back to the jazz age of the 1920s. For tickets, call 602-909-4215 or online at scottsdalemusicaltheater.com.
If 2020 is about how crazy ass these Democrats are, Trump can win.
This is the Joe Walsh Show. Nights at 7 p.m. Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
And now, a Networking Arizona moment with Carol Blonder. How many people out there suffer from migraines? Listen up, everyone. I have with me Eva Dowan. She's the founder of Your Life Back. Tell everybody a little bit about why you created your product.
You know, Carol, I used to suffer for over 34 plus years trying to figure out the best combination. I went to doctor specialist treatments, you name it, I did it, and nothing worked. The doctors finally told me, get rid of all the stress in your life and learn pain management. Well, now I don't have to. You see, I created an all-natural product, and it works. People all over the United States are raving about this product. It gives you your life back.
What makes your formula so special?
So listen, there are only 3 ingredients. It's all natural. There's nothing in there that will harm you. In fact, it has been certified and laboratory tested, proven safe.
She does free consultations. She loves to talk to people. Check her out on her website. It's yourlifeback.com. yourlifeback.com.
America in the morning. Mornings at 6 a.m. Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. The home of America in the morning.
Back with you. On the record with virtual vinyl. You have records for sale. The more you have, the more we like you. Call me at 480-269-4849. That's Virtual Vinyl's direct line. We're back with my old pal Frank Rezick, continuing our conversation. 2 old guys reminiscing about the record business. Frank, you there?
I'm not that old yet. I'm still a teenager at heart.
We forgot to toss this in at Northern. I was supposed to go to Pittsburgh and take a route up, and then I found out they weren't going to give me any extra money, and I kind of said, no. And they stuck you at that gig. How long were you in Pittsburgh?
I don't know. Well, what happened was I moved there. They were going to build a bunch of gold circles, and then we were going to put a satellite warehouse up there, and I was going to run that. But that didn't pan out. They opened about maybe 4 or 5 stores, and needless to say, I didn't have much work to do. It was not too bad.
Right.
But that happened, and then Lenny put me back in charge of all the Gold Circle stores again, and
so you were up there a year or 2, or how long were you in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, and then I moved back here to Cleveland, and actually I worked with Warner Brothers, I don't know, for quite a few years, and they had I moved back to Pittsburgh again. I was destined to live in Pittsburgh because they had National Record Mart up there, which had, they had their corporate headquarters there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, nothing better than sticking a Cleveland guy in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah,
all the Steeler fans.
Guy up there to take care of, they did millions and millions of dollars just with Warner's alone. I forgot how many. They had retail stores all over from the west to east coast. So, I was up there and then eventually got downsized. Like I said, I told my kids with downloading music, but, I had a great career. I have no complaints. Some of the best memories you could ever imagine. So,
what were some of the highlights of your days at Warner Brothers? Did you ever meet the Stones or get to a Stones concert?
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact. Keith Richards, we were distributing Virgin Records, got to meet Keith Richards, some of the guys in the Rolling Stones. It was just so cool, man, like standing on the side of the stage while Deep Purple's performing. One of the bands that I really, really, truly loved all my life. So
was a Deep Purple
just things like that, or meeting Roy Orbison, taking him around to, the radio and TV shows. Matter of fact, I was with him on, it was on a Sunday night, and he was at the Front Row Theater there in Cleveland, remember that place?
Yeah, the Circular Theater where the stage spun around.
He was there. This was on a Sunday, and I took him there, and we did the backstage and all that good stuff. Real humble guy, nicest guy I ever wanted to meet. And I just remembered, listening to him like when I was in high school, and wow, man, I'm standing next to Roy Orbison. This is really, really super cool.
It's a brush with greatness.
Unfortunately, I get a call. I went down to Columbus on the following Tuesday, and on Wednesday morning, somebody called me, hey, your buddy Roy Orbison passed away. He had a heart attack. He was pretty young. I think he was like in his mid to late 50s.
Yeah, he had a heart problem most of his adult life, I think.
Yeah, and his voice, man, never changed. I mean, the guy was just one of the best singers that you could ever imagine. And once again, like I said, a very humble and nice person. So, you know, the old saying, only the good die young. That's why I'm going to live to be about 110, and so are you. So,
did you ever meet any of the other rockabilly guys, Johnny Cash? I remember one time Carl Perkins was at the Northern Warehouse just walking around looking at records. I think.
Yeah, I remember meeting him. Not too many of the rockabilly guys. Well, I'm trying to think. Oh, the Blasters. They were on Warner Brothers Records, and they were kind of a rockabilly group that was pretty cool, you know. Probably back in the 80s, they had their highlights. But, you know, there were so many doggone people I've met over the years, and it was really, I used to wake up in the morning and go, man, I should be paying them to let me do this job.
I saw a picture of you,
you
with
know,
the.
You have a really great job.
I saw a picture of you with the Black Crows too. What were those guys like? I love the Black Crows.
They were all, most of the people, man, were really nice people. Of course, they're going to be super nice to me because I'm helping them with their careers, you know. Right. So, you know, I really can't say that there's anybody that was, you know, not nice. A lot of the country western people, you know, Neil McCoy and some of these other people, really super duper nice. But it was quite an exciting career. So, and once again, the weird part about it is after I got downsized, I moved back here to Cleveland. And you were talking about records. Well, if you have a record by the Alarm Clocks, it's worth a lot of money. Because that's a band I played in the 60s. And I was producing a radio show when I moved back here in Cleveland.
Yeah, we forgot.
And I hadn't seen you. We played in high school and college together.
Yeah, we forgot to tell the audience you're a musician. You had a group when you were young, and you guys have reassembled now and still out playing around?
Yeah, we reassembled about it. It was weird because I was at the radio station producing a radio show. A young guy came in, intern, and I started talking about my history. Oh, yeah, and I played in the Alarm Clocks back in the 60s. He's like, well, hey, man, I know the bass player. Give me his phone number. I hadn't seen the guy since 1968.
There were some great,
really good friends.
Great garage groups in Cleveland back in those days.
Yeah, and we still perform. We played, you know, quite a few rock festivals. We played at the Beachland Ballroom here in Cleveland and some of the local gigs. And, you know, it's like you step on the stage, it's like being on a time machine.
People in Cleveland, or people in Phoenix here on the radio are probably like, what are these two old guys talking about Cleveland? But the reality is there's probably more people listening to this show right now in Cleveland than in Phoenix, I'm guessing. So.
Well, that's good then.
Right.
But, yeah, it was.
So if you don't like Cleveland talk, click it off.
Right. The record that we made back then, we only made a couple hundred of them. And we'd sell them at gigs, you know, and it was called No Reason to Complain. A lot of people have done, you know, they've done their own renditions on albums and things. So it's, you know, if you get on the internet or something, put No Reason to Complain in there, you'll see a million other.
I'm certain you had your lawyers contact all of those groups.
Well, I didn't write the song. My buddy wrote it, but, you know, he gets occasionally a nice check, you know, for $1,000, couple thousand bucks, you know, royalties. But
so you're getting paid out straight. It's not like most groups back in those days, huh?
Yeah. But, yeah, we have a good time. And like I said, it's like stepping in a time machine because you go on stage and you see all these young kids, and it's like we're back in 1967 again.
Most groups in the 50s and 60s.
It keeps me busy. It keeps me busy. We have a lot of fun. We have 3 of the original members in the band, so it's pretty cool. Somebody would have told us in 1966 that we'd be, you know, playing in a band the same music when we're late 60s, you know, we would have told them there was no way in hell we were going to do that.
It's great. At our age, it's great to be standing mostly erect. So.
Oh, yeah. You know what I say? You know the old saying, a rolling stone gathers no moss.
That is correct.
So I try to keep busy and just, you know, keep on keeping on. So.
Frank,
all right, Mike.
It was great talking to you.
Yeah, man, I'll let you carry on with your show, and I know who to call if I need some cash show because I've got quite an extensive record collection myself.
I'm going to be in Cleveland at the end of May. I hope to chase you down and buy you a beer.
That sounds even better, man. I'll hold you
Frank.
to that.
Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Great to reconnect with you and speak to you the last few days.
Yeah, any time at all, man. We can talk about more fun things next time.
Great. Thanks, Frank.
All right, Mike. Have a nice evening.
Adios.
All right, buddy.
See you, Frank.
Talk to you later. Thank you.
That's my old pal, Frank Rezick. He was the sales manager at Northern Records, my boss. Great guy. I kind of screwed him over a couple times, never had a crossword for me. I'm sure managing me was not a picnic. I always said I would never want to work for a company that would hire me. But we had fun. Record business in the old days in Cleveland, it was just, the rock and roll capital of whatever. I don't know about that, but it was a great city to live in. Every group kind of passed through there. You had a chance to see great artists coming up in small halls like the Agora, and just incredible. Well, what we're really here for, though, is to talk about used vinyl records. We want to buy your record collection. And check out our stores. Our big store is a Discogs store. The name of the store is M. Hamilla Melton. We've got 30,000 pieces of vinyl. Most of it is 45 RPMs. Mention the show and you get 20% off of anything over $10. What else do we got? Later in the hour, we have a young kid coming and calling in from Hoboken, New Jersey, home of Frank Sinatra. A young bond trader who's also a musician and a vinyl collector, a customer of mine, Jimmy Donahue. So we hope to talk to him shortly also. So yo to all my friends in Cleveland and anybody listening in Phoenix, give us a call. We are at 602-277-KFNX. Nationwide, 1-866-536.
Savage Nation, afternoons at 5 p.m. on 1100 KFNX. No fake news. Independent talk, 1100 KFNX.
National Weather Service officials are heading to the south to investigate reports that 7 tornadoes have touched down so far this weekend. 2 children were killed in the East Texas town of Lufkin when a tree fell on the car their parents were driving through the storm. But meteorologist Ivan Cabrera does have some good news.
Texas is done. This is the last batch of thunderstorm activity, so Texas is in the clear at this point. However, Louisiana is not, Mississippi is not, Alabama is not. We still have a very long evening.
Georgia expects severe weather tomorrow afternoon, so the Masters will get underway early at Augusta National with play to begin at 7:30 a.m. The nation's only all-male historically black college will begin admitting transgender men next year. The move is a major shift for Morehouse College at a time when higher education institutions around the country are adopting more welcoming policies toward LGBT students. I'm Evan Haining.
From the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center for this afternoon, sunshine, a high of 82. Clear sky for tonight, 58 the low. Sunday will be sunny, a high of 88. Clouds moving into the region Sunday night with a low of 62. And for Monday, mostly sunny, breezy, a high near 90. I'm Kelly Wild from the KFNX WeatherBug Weather Center.
Currently in downtown Phoenix, it's 78 degrees.
Virtual Vinyl is looking to purchase large, well-taken care of LP and 45 RPM record collections. Call us at 480-269-4849 and visit our stores on 1100kfnx.com and check out our Facebook group. On the Record with Virtual Vinyl is on every Saturday at 5 p.m. until 6 p.m.
Do you have IRS tax problems? Are they keeping you up at night? If your tax problems are affecting your family life, you need to know you have options. Call Ted Watkins, enrolled agent before IRS, the tax expert who will handle your case. We negotiate settlements with the IRS, the Arizona Department of Revenue, as well as prepare past due tax returns. Call us at 602-363-1952 or 602-418-7308.
We all make promises, big and small.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
I do solemnly swear
to help you when you're in need,
to be considerate and caring, to be your loving, faithful friend,
partner,
child,
parent,
neighbor,
One of our most important commitments is to support our nation's veterans. Learn how you can help a veteran going through a difficult time by visiting maketheconnection.net.
Hi, folks. This is Bill Pascal. Are you paying too much for your health insurance? Well, I've got plans available year-round that are good for any doctor or hospital. You get a small copay. You don't have to satisfy a great big deductible every year, and the premiums are truly affordable. For more information, give me a call at 623-980-7272 or visit me online at AmericanHealthPro.com, and we'll do our best to help you and your family.
Are you tired of politicians' lies and corporate greed? Does your family have health care? Can you support your family? Voice of Democracy Arizona is the program that fights for people's rights. We talk about issues that affect your family and your community. Listen to Voice of Democracy Arizona on 1100 KFNX and be informed. Talk about public issues in Arizona and the USA, how politics affects you. Call the show at 602-277-KFNX.
Tune in every Saturday at 2 p.m.
My baby don't stand no cheating, my baby.
Hey, we're back on the record with Virtual Vinyl.
No
Just talking about the Indians and the Cubs and how the Cubs ruined 2016 for us. And I got off the schneid.
Oh, man, no, they didn't. The Cubs made baseball better.
Yeah. Now Cleveland is the longest waiting team to win a World Series. It's been since 1948. So, anyhow, back on the record with Virtual Vinyl. Hello to everyone out there in Phoenix who's listening. Give us a call. You got a question about music, records, the music business, or, you want to stump me on a state capitol, give us a call. 602-277-KFNX. If you're not in Phoenix, try our national number, 866-536-1100. If you got records for sale, we'll come get them, pay cash, and sweep up on our way out the door. We'll take all you got. Call me at 480-269-4849 or email me, mike.hamilla@gmail.com. All right, we're going to just keep rolling the guests around here now. I hope we have Jimmy Donahue on the line from Hoboken. Jimmy's not with us yet. He's going to call in a couple minutes. Anyhow, funny story. As we were moving our warehouse the last couple of weeks, I ran into some beautiful Dean Martin records on Capitol. I've got 5 copies of Ain't That a Kick in the Head that were printed in a Pennsylvania pressing plant that Capitol had. The city does not ring a bell at the moment. Scranton, PA. Anyway, Capitol had a plant there. I think it's the first pressing. So we have 5 copies of this record. One is VG Plus. We got two near mints, I believe, and 1 mint that's never been played. The mint one, it's probably a $125 record. I got all kinds of guys trying to get me to take half, but they've only been on the market a few days. But Dean Martin, Ain't That a Kick in the Head from 1960, bringing nice money if some of the collectors get their pockets loose. One guy said he was changing out his some records in his jukebox, and he sat on his Dean Martin record. That's why he needed another one. That had to hurt in a couple ways.
You want to talk about tragic stories? I had 2 45s, Led Zeppelin, Whole Lotta Love, and I forgot what the other one was. Someone left the lights on, and all I heard was crack, crack, crack when I walked in because it's pitch black. Both of them split right in half.
Oh, man. Jimmy's telling me the number's not working. Is there another number he can call in there? I think we got him. Anyhow. Okay. All right, we're going to chase down Jimmy Donahue in Hoboken, New Jersey, a friend of the family, a young bond trader, musician. He's going to talk to us about, we had old guys talking about records. He's a young kid in his early 30s, and he's a vinyl buyer. I sold him some Bowie 45s not that long ago and some Springsteen LPs. Nice kid. And when we get a hold of him, we're going to bring him in and get the young person's perspective about vinyl. There's not enough old guys to keep the vinyl business going. All the young kids kind of kick-started this thing, and they're out there. Some of them buy records and don't even have a turntable. They buy them for investment. Kind of crazy. But, hey, our motto is you don't need a turntable to buy from Virtual Vinyl. You just need a credit card. So, anyhow, we like to buy, and that's why we do this show, is so we can buy well taken care of record collections. We'll go all over the state, California, almost anywhere in the country to take a look at a big collection, especially 45 RPMs. Yeah. Is there another number he can come in on? Give me that again. 602.
So I understand that it's Record Store Day, and I'm wondering if anybody can call in with some good stories about what they found today and maybe sell you something.
Be nice. Give us a call in Phoenix, 602-277-KFNX.
Remember, you're on the...
Hey, I'm on the air in Phoenix. Lucky I own the show. Anyhow, here's something else that we do that is kind of a sideline. If you have a record collection that you need insured, we'll come in and appraise the collection for you and give you a document that you can take to your insurance company and say, my collection's worth such and such an amount. And we're glad to do that at an hourly rate or a flat rate. So if you have something like that needs to be taken care of, call Virtual Vinyl, ask for Mike, 480-269-4849. Okay, we're having trouble with Jimmy, so we're going to go on to something else here. I want to thank our advertisers. One is a buddy of mine's company, APN. He's doing some ads for our show and for himself. And I think we're going to work with another big group, Scottsdale ENT, when we get the paperwork settled up. So thanks to all our advertisers. If you're looking to check out our stores, 1100kfnx.com. All the links to our stores are there. Our Discog store, our inventory is also on reverblp.com. We got a couple of eBay stores for some special items. One of the eBay stores is devoted to mostly classical music. That was one of the first major buys I made, was a classical collection. I went outside of Phoenix, or outside of Tucson, into a kind of a remote area, and an older fella had died, and the family was getting rid of about 700 classical records, and stepped in and bought those, and still selling them 4 or 5 years later here and there. Classical buyers are very particular about what they buy, and they like stereo versions of records more than mono versions. So, what else do we got here? Give us a call, 602-277-KFNX, or check out the website, 1100kfnx.com, or call us on the 800 number, 866-536-1100. Mike Camilla, Virtual Vinyl. We buy and sell used records, and we like to talk about music. If you're out there, give us a call, ask us a question about music, or ask about a record or a value of a record, or whatever you want to call in, we'll take a call. Let's see what else we were working on this week. It was good to talk to my old friend Frank recently there, and earlier in the show. We The other day I was listing some George Jones 45s, and I'm sitting there going through 40 or 50 45s thinking, I wonder if I'm wasting my time, because George Jones and Loretta Lynn used to do a lot of records together, and he's not exactly outlaw country, but we sold one of his 45s just a couple days after listing it for about $15, and it's going to a client in Sweden. Now, who would think anybody in Sweden would want a George Jones record, but here's a guy that paid $15 for the record, also took a Charlie Louvin record, who was kind of a sort of an outlaw country type. And he spent $30 and then an extra $15 to ship them. For international customers, we charge them a flat rate of $15, and they can buy 2, 3 45s or 100 45s. We'll sell them as many as they want. So we got a lot of international customers that like that kind of shipping. If there's anyone out there that's not in the U.S., give us a look-see. My Discog store is M. Hamilla Melton, and there's 30,000 records there for sale, 25,000 of which are 45s, which they love over in Europe and in Asia and all South America even. Again, let's see what else we did this week, since we're struggling to fill time here. We were talking about Carl Perkins earlier. I had a sealed copy of Old Blue Suede's Back on United Artists. That's one of his more recent releases. Like I said, I had met Carl back probably in the late 70s. He was just browsing around at Northern Records and got to shake his hand. It was great. All right, stay with us. I think we got one more segment to go on the record with Virtual Vinyl.
Oh, yeah, she don't stand no cheating, my babe. Oh, yeah, she don't stand no cheating. She don't stand none of that midnight creeping, my babe. True little baby, my babe.
And bigger rates may apply. Do you want to learn how to get started making money flipping houses right here in Phoenix? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll be introduced to our 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Phoenix area who want to learn how to get started making money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. Phoenix is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where we'll share how to get started making money flipping houses and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited, so text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. Just text your zip code to 82,000.
Upper Crust Pizza Patio and Wine Bar is the Phoenix hotspot, whether you're considering a fun, casual dinner with the whole family or an intimate evening out with you and your significant other. Located on the southeast corner of Cave Creek and the 101, Upper Crust offers great specials, including Tuesday $11 large one-topping pizzas, Wednesday half-off bottles of wine, and happy hour 4 to 7 every day. Check it out for yourself, Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar on the southeast corner of Cave Creek and the 101.
Get the latest in real estate news from across the valley. Shaken, not stirred, with a dash of anything goes. It's all on The Real Estate Show featuring the Elton Brothers on KFNX.
Tune in Thursdays at 3 p.m. on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. That's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Get the facts about cancer and cancer treatment from the experts. The Oncozine Brief every Saturday between 1 and 2 on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Outsmarting Cancer, advancing medical science together.
You're on the record with Virtual Vinyl, and we're going to spend the last segment going back and forth with my producer, Brian. We're going to talk about whatever we
Vinyl
can
records.
We can figure out to
Did
kill
you sell
10
anything,
minutes.
Anything interesting you sold this week?
Some oddball 45s by a group called Crow. Never heard of them, from the 80s. A promo of Genesis Duke.
Really?
A couple of Johnny Cash 45s on Columbia, which are typically not real big movers, but
He didn't put out a lot of, did Johnny Cash put out a lot of 45s?
Oh, yeah. Lots, tons.
I didn't think so. Like Led Zeppelin hardly released 45s. There was just all records, hardly any 45s at
I have
all.
a bunch of Led Zeppelin 45s. I don't know. Maybe I have them priced too high or something. I don't know, but I have a few things by them.
Really? Okay. Because I always have the impression that if you find a Zeppelin 45, get it because they didn't really put too many out.
Could be. It's most of their clientele were album buyers. And,
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, they're not teenage girls that are going to put it on a little play player and listen to a whole lot of love.
What's the best selling records that you usually come across?
Any Northern Soul from the 50s and 60s, R&B music. I mean, you just cannot believe the interest in, especially artists that only put out one or two records.
Oh yeah, Northern Soul is a huge deal nowadays.
Yeah, but yeah, R&B music on 45 is the bomb, and it's wanted all over the world. Like I was saying last week, DJs in Europe spin only 45s, and they're always looking to replenish stock and pick up other titles and this and that. But
you sell a lot of records overseas?
Oh yeah, like every other 45 goes overseas, probably.
Really?
And they pay top buck.
Well, I think that Europe is still liking the whole American vintage thing still.
These two Johnny Cash records went to Belgium. So
that's kind of a big deal.
One of my clients, when Aretha fell ill, I had a guy come through and I had some mint Aretha Franklin 45s, and he bought a bunch of them, and I just happened to Google the guy. And
really? Some of those have got to be kind of pricey.
Yeah, he's the CEO of Atlantic Records, who was my customer.
Wow.
And he came back 3 or 4 times. He was trying to piece together I don't know if it was for himself or for the company, but he was piecing together all of Aretha's stuff on Atlantic.
Really?
So his name's Craig Kalman. He's got one of the biggest record collections in the world up in Manhattan. He's also a collector of posters. And I tried to get him to reach out to him to get him to come on the show, but I think I got to go through channels to get him.
I bet.
But, him and I have never had a conversation, but I've done 7, 8, 9 deals with him, and he's looking for old mint stuff on Atlantic or Warner. He was even buying Aretha stuff on other labels, and then he's gone quiet recently, but good guy to know. So today is kind of like Warner Brothers Day between Frank earlier and talking about Craig.
You know what I did come across one time, and it's still in my collection. I will never part with it. I came across a Rolling Stones. Not only were the songs misprinted, but it was the wrong version of the band. It was actually the Ronnie Wood Stones, and it was like a greatest hit thing from Italy.
Yeah,
and
some
it
of the
had
most
Brian
expensive
Jones on the
records
record
are
cover,
misprints,
and then Mick Taylor on the back. And I thought, oh my God, this is great. I bought it for like $40, like some odd years ago. I've never had it appraised, but I've heard that actually they have errors on them like that. It's kind of expensive.
There are guys that look for certain Stones 45s, and they want a version of the song at a specific time, and they want you to run the record and verify that the time of the actual record coordinates with the time on the label. So it gets they get pretty particular, the Stones 45 collectors, yes.
Were they just not on time?
There's a version of it's something off of Exile on Main Street that went to 45. I can't remember the title of the song off the top of my head, but guys look for certain lengths of a certain song. A lot of Kiss guys look for certain 45s too, believe it or not. Kiss 45s are.
Well, I know like the Smiths, I know that their fans can be pretty picky about what vinyl they're buying from them. Original pressing only, that kind of a thing.
Right. I had a great record. You mentioned the Smiths. Patti Smith did a record.
Whose record?
Patti Smith.
Patti Smith, nice.
Completely different artist. She just got inducted into the Rock Hall recently, but she did a 45 that was just a live version of a show in Cleveland, and I had a copy and misplaced it. And that's probably $100 record if it's a nickel. I must have lent it to somebody and they forgot to give it back, or I don't know. But that 45s are they're fun. There's money in it, and the best part of playing around with records is setting values and market making and doing the research. We've got 30,000 records in the Discog site. Every record I held in my hand, I looked it up to see what version it was. I have to visually grade the vinyl, whether it's mint, looks like it's never been played, or near mint, almost perfect. Or,
what do you usually take when you buy? You're looking for perfect condition, or you're like, all right, there's a little bit of here on the cover, you know.
On LPs, you like at least VG plus on the record and the jacket. But on 45s, I mean, you can buy something that's beat, like we were talking last week, and if it's only one of a few records off, like that Lead Belly record I was talking about last week, it's kind of beat, but it's worth money. So
somebody told me that they were trying to come across the Library of Congress, I guess, when they went around and they recorded all those blues records. Someone was telling me that they actually pressed off of those and kind of sold them to the public, and that you can find vinyl of those records. Is that true?
That I don't know about. But
ever heard of it?
I know there's a consortium that is trying to gather like first pressings of certain artists and to preserve them. So, because there's only so many out there, there's not any new first pressings coming out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like wondering if they did, because they just did it to have it in their records. They weren't looking to release it or make money off it. They just wanted it in their records. But then someone was like, no. They did do pressings from it. And I'm like, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, there's some conservatory doing some gathering of vinyl also, like a museum. So, I mean, this is serious business. It's there's serious dollars involved between collectors and sellers, and it's got its own personality. You know, a guy that buys a $10 record sometimes can drive you nuts because something's not right. And guys you sell records to for $300, $400, $500, you never hear from them again. They're happy as clams. So it's kind of a crazy business, but it's fun. When I was a kid, I was putting records in a box, and now that I'm an old man, I'm still putting records in a box. So kind of gone full cycle. So you start out in the fetal position and you end up in the fetal position. So I'm well on the way.
That's what I hear. So if you could come across any record, what would make you salivate and foam at the mouth?
Well, for most record guys, it's the Beatles Butcher album. You weren't here last week when I talked about it in the beginning of the show, but there was a guy running around town hustling a sealed copy of the Beatles Butcher album. And do you know, you familiar with that one?
No. The Beatles, you know what? Because I got to be such a Stones fan that I kind of focused on that.
It's the
but
Beatles
now
Yesterday
I'm
and
wishing I
Today
paid attention to the
LP
Beatles a little
from
more.
65 or 66, but the original cover was, they had like meat butchered, and it was all over the Beatles on their shoulders and this and that. And Capitol Records thought it was kind of over the top, and they quickly pulled the record. One of the pressing plants took every copy of the record, dug a hole, and buried all of the original what they call the Beatles Butcher covers. Just buried them in the ground, And there's people that go to where that pressing plant used to be and dig around and try to find these records, because a legitimate sealed copy of that record from 65 can go for as high as $80,000.
Really?
Yeah, there was a guy that his dad worked for Capitol, and when that thing came out, his dad took a box of those home, and in the mid-'80s, he unearthed that box and started putting those records on the market. And the dad wrote like sort of a certificate of authenticity on it for him, and let everybody know that those records were legit. And he went around selling them off. He actually sold a stereo one by mistake as a mono one, and the stereo ones were worth, 3 and 4 times what the monos were worth for some reason. There were less of them, sealed, never been opened. So like this kid around town had one. It was a fake, and we knew it was a fake and passed on it. But
I would love to hear it. That's the thing, is I got to hear them, and I'd be scared to open it up and just, Yeah,
anybody that buys that doesn't open it. They just put it in the safe deposit box or mount it, or I don't know what they do with it. But those are guys that have amounts of money that I am unfamiliar with.
That's when you've got a lot of money.
But if I can get one for $50, I'm a buyer. I even offered $50 for the fake, just to have it, because it was kind of a cool item.
I would love to get one. Just I kind of want to hear that how when they first came out with the stereo pressing on records.
Yeah. Hey, this hour went fast, except for one segment.